What's good YouTube, it's your boy Pokefaze and we are back with a new video, and in this video guys we are going to be breaking down this trailer that we were given today in Pokemon Direct and just seeing the kind of things that we've been shown. It's not an initial reaction sadly because I didn't record my initial reaction, so I'm not going to pretend to say I didn't see any of this stuff, but yeah, let's just get into it guys. Just going to try and go through the trailer one more time, see if we've missed anything out, see the kind of mechanics we've been introduced into this game, and yeah guys, tell me the kind of views you've had when you saw this trailer and what you're thinking of the game so far. What's your thoughts? Do you like the mechanics that have been introduced? Do you like the Pokemon that have been introduced to us so far? Get down in the comment section and tell me you guys. But as you can see here, we're shown our rival, who is Hop in this game. To be fair, not that different to How in terms of number of letters, obviously starting with a H, and he doesn't give that rival vibe that we all kind of wanted, where he's more aggressive in a way. He just looks like the typical happy character, which is something I didn't want. It's something a lot of people didn't want, but we'll have to wait and see. And here we get to see 3 of the new Pokemon that were introduced to us, and I can't remember their names right now, but we can go into it after. Some more gameplay we see in different parts and different areas, some new character designs, another new Pokemon that was introduced, as you can see on the screen, which is actually used as a taxi, as we saw in the Direct. As you can see, some overworld Pokemon here as well, so that's good to note. I think it is only in specific areas of the game that you get overworld Pokemon, which some people also did predict. You can see yourself on a bike that also for some reason goes into water, shaking trees, calling Pokemon. Now these lights are what are part of the new mechanic in the game, and this is a multiplayer feature that you get. And similar to Pokemon Go with raids, it's also a raid, but there's this new feature and it's called, I think, Dynamaxing, and it's when you make your Pokemon a lot larger. And obviously you've probably seen it in the trailer, but it's important to note that a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is just going to be some broken or overpowered thing, and you know what, it might actually be. We would have to wait and see. However, they did state that it's only lasting for 3 turns, so you got to obviously pick it wisely in terms of that as well. So yeah, of course you got to do that, because you might waste those 3 turns really quickly. So I guess there is a competitive side to it that we'd have to wait and see. I don't think it's as easy as saying, oh, it's overpowered, or that it might ruin the competitive side of the game. As we were told last year that, you know, these games coming out are meant to be more for the competitive battler, so we'll have to see. Here we get the first gym leader. They only showed us 1 gym leader in the trailer for 15 minutes. Kind of understandable, just to get you that kind of feel. It's cool to see the camera that watches you as if you're in an actual stadium. There's people watching you battle. You can obviously Dynamax in these battles, in these gym battles, as you can see by the starters and that other new Pokemon that we were introduced to. And now this is the champion of Galar region. This is Leon. Has a very cool young vibe to him, and I like the way he looks so far. And then now, as you can see in this part of the trailer, they're going to show the legendary Pokemon. Now guys, what do you think of the legendary Pokemon? Personally, I think they look quite cool, but at the same time, I think they could have carried the designs much more better for Sword and Shield. I think it's a bit lazy just to put a sword in the wolf's mouth for the sword legendary, but I do like the design of the Shield Pokemon. And I can't really predict the typings. You would expect them to maybe have a primary steel typing or secondary steel typing, and then have maybe like fighting a dark type and fairy and a dark type, for example. I do think that the shield one might be a dark steel type, because it gives it more of a dark aura. But as you can see, there's that glow similar to the glow that we got from Solgaleo and Lunala, so I'm sure there's going to be something to do with their ability as well. There we go, and as you guys probably know, it's going to be released worldwide in November 2015. But now let's look at some of the stuff that we were given in this trailer. So let's look at the Pokemon first. We already know about the starters, but let's look at some of these Pokemon. Now, we were introduced to a few Pokemon here. As you can see, besides the starters, we've been introduced to 5 more Pokemon. Gossifleur, which evolves into Eldegoss, Wooloo, Corviknight, and Dreadnought. Now Corviknight, like I said before, is actually a flying steel type, so it's got none of that dark type. A very big bird, 7'3", weighs quite a bit. Now this is what's going to be used as almost a transport Pokemon, as opposed to using HMs obviously and ride Pokemon. So this is going to take you to towns that you've already visited, as it's explained before. But yeah, that's what we get. The abilities it might have is Pressure and Unnerve, so that's quite cool. And then if we look at some of the other Pokemon that we were introduced to, I really like Dreadnought. I don't know if it's going to be based on a fossil, however it is got that water rock type, so obviously quad weak to grass. Here's the Bite Pokemon, reminds me quite a lot of the Torterra line, the Turtwig line, obviously because it's based on a snapping turtle, so it's quite understandable. Because of that as well, it's got shell armor, it's got strong jaw, some decent abilities. Not that big, 3 for 3, but it looks quite big on the screen, so can't complain. Might be using this in my playthrough. I don't think we've been shown too many of the moves they have. Here's a level 55 Dreadnought, and it is known as the Bite Pokemon. So yeah, it's quite a good design. What else can I go to see? Wooloo is the sheep Pokemon. I really hope it evolves, because I'm just guessing it has this really dope evolution. A normal type as expected. Its abilities are Fluffy and Runaway, not the best abilities. I was really hoping you'd get Fur Coat to add that competitive viability, and perhaps what it evolves into does have Fur Coat and has that defensive structure. I'd like it to turn into the standing up ram, would be quite cool. But yeah, apparently you find them everywhere in the Galar region. Understandable, you see the amount of farms we have in the UK, the sheep that you then have on them as well. So it makes a lot of sense. Then we go to Gossifleur. Gossifleur is a pure grass type, as well as its evolution, the flowering Pokemon. As you can see them walking in the overworld, in these wild areas. So people saying, oh, they aren't going to be in the overworld. I think some Pokemon will be in the overworld, some won't be, and I think that's good, because it doesn't make it too much like Let's Go, where I wasn't a big fan, and it doesn't make it too unrealistic, where you can only see Pokemon or encounter Pokemon that you can't see in the grass. So I think it's a good move made by the Pokemon Company in that case. And then obviously Gossifleur evolving into Eldegoss, which has the abilities Cotton Down and Regenerator. Now I think this would be used quite a lot, especially because the Regenerator ability is a very good ability that a lot of people tend to use, and it's known as the Cotton Bloom Pokemon, obviously based on like the Dandelion sort of effect, in a lot of healing aspects from it as well, so we can expect that. I like the little mage cape that it has on it as well. And then I think the final Pokemon that we need to go through on it, that was it. But there's another aspect that wasn't really shown too much in the direct or in the trailer, and that is the Pokedex Rotom phone. Now, as opposed to the Rotom Dex that we had previously, our Pokedex is now going to be on a smartphone, and I think that's quite cool. It fits the generation we are now, it fits the people that we are now. You know, everyone that's playing this game probably does have a smartphone. It links to the whole Pokemon Go application that we have as well, that we use on our smartphone on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's quite cool that they introduced Rotom within the phone. Now you can see a feature it says it has multiple features. As expected, one of the features is it soups up your bicycle, so when you're riding your bike it goes much faster, which is quite cool, and will get you from place to place much faster as well, so that's quite good. And then we look at the legendary Pokemon. Now guys, we haven't been told the typing, which is why I'm still guessing on them, and you can't be too sure, but you can see that the two Pokemon Zamazenta and Zacian, I really like their names as well, have that very royal aspect. There's a crown here, you know, the whole sword and shield thing, bits of armor. I like the fact that Zacian has wings, for example, but you can definitely see Zamazenta having more of a dark feel to it compared to Zacian. And in the actual direct, you can see that they ended up stopping fighting because something disturbed them. Now that could be a story-based thing, or it could be a third legendary. Probably a third legendary we might see in another trailer before the games come out, but it's still very cool designs. Could still be done better, but I do like them. For now, I'm still going to go with Zacian and Pokemon Sword. I'll probably have both games, but we'll have to wait and see. What else do we get? So more of the Dynamax things. I'll probably make a separate video on the actual mechanic of Dynamax and how it works and how cool it might be on the competitive side of things. But for now, that is what I wanted to break down in terms of the other stuff. We've been given loads of images of the kind of environments we'll get in Pokemon in the Galar region, more specifically, and I think that we get a good sort of feel for how the game is going to be and how the game is going to turn out. We can see some different Pokemon in the overworld. We saw some more of the different buildings that we're going to see in the game as well. But I'm just wondering if we go into videos, for example, get ready for Dynamax Pokemon. So yeah, again, I'm going to go through that separately. So we know that the gym leader's name is Milo, and he is the first gym leader. You can see is clearly a grass-based gym, as we saw there before. Now in this trailer, guys, we did not see the regional bird. In my opinion, I don't think that Corviknight is going to be that. We did not see the bug type that we normally get, and we didn't see that kind of puppy Pokemon either. So those are things I think we really wanted to see, and Pokemon are trying to draw us in more and more by not showing us that now. So I think in these 15 minutes we were shown a lot of stuff and content, but at the same time we've been left hanging in a way, which is obviously good marketing in Pokemon's side of things. And you know, in terms of the Dynamax thing, just to touch on it quickly, who would have thought they would have introduced something like that where the Pokemon just become huge and you fight as huge Pokemon in this stadium? No one probably guessed that. Everyone thought armored Pokemon. Now the reason I say this is because I thought armored Pokemon would be a thing as well. Will Pokemon introduce two huge battling mechanics in one game? And the reason I say that again is because I think armored evolution would be a huge battle mechanic. Now they may introduce it still with 1 or 2 Pokemon, but I highly doubt it, especially with this battle Dynamax thing that's come out. And so I think that's what they're going to focus on in Pokemon Company, and no one I saw on Reddit or anywhere on these forums predicted this sort of thing. So I think it is really cool. I think it's cool that you get to catch Dynamax Pokemon as well, especially in group raids, but I don't know what the significance is of catching a Pokemon that is Dynamax as opposed to having a regular Pokemon. Cannot regular Pokemon use Dynamax, sorry, but then why can the starters or the starters special? Well, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. We haven't been shown too much detail, but we've been shown quite a lot in this 15-minute trailer. So yeah, guys, those are my initial thoughts. Not too much of a breakdown per se so far, but I just wanted to touch on these different things that we were shown in the trailer, so you can see the different overall Pokemon that apparently work together with humans. We get to see this crown sort of dragon castle thing, which is going to obviously play a huge part in the game, but they weren't going to tell us what exactly. And then I think personally that the rival is going to choose a star that's weak to use, simply because we see him using Grookey here. Well, actually not too sure, but I'm just guessing it might be the case. And obviously your rival Hop is Leon's little brother who wants to be this champion as well, so he has that drive to be champion. Now let's go into the last 2 characters we were introduced to. So that's Professor Magnolia. So we don't actually have these 2 professors, or at least for now we haven't been introduced to 2 professors, but we have been introduced to one of them, and that's Professor Magnolia, which is quite an old nice lady. And she's obviously studying, like in all games, the main mechanic, which is in this case the Dynamax phenomenon, as they explained to me, and her very pretty assistant Sonia, which I believe is her granddaughter, and will obviously probably give you advice along your journey and be that side sort of support character that helps you along, probably explains Dynamax to you as well. So you know, very similar to the other Pokemon games, and I like that because then you can see this continuity in Pokemon. And obviously you'd want that. You don't just want this giant new game to be completely different. Obviously I'll be choosing the male character. It's not that obvious, but I'm going to be choosing the male character. And I like the customization they showed is possible. I'm going to be choosing this one probably because it looks the most like me. But we'll have to wait and see different types of customization that are available as well. No star evolutions have been shown, so we're going to have to wait and see that as well. So the way to summarize this is probably that they've shown us a lot, but there's a lot still to show, and that's what's great about it. So yeah guys, that's all for this analysis video and this kind of just initial thoughts video. I'm going to be making loads more videos even on this specific Pokemon Direct we've got today, because there was a lot shown and I'm sure there's stuff we've missed out as well. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked what you've seen, and I will catch you guys next time.